I just happened to stumble upon your Twitter. I think you tweeted, if you're planning on writing a script in 2020 and you haven't started yet, start today, make a file, do a title page, write your first slug line, and then your first line of action. Tomorrow, you can jump right in.
My intention writing that tweet, and I guess I should say that I wrote that on the 31st of December. So if you're planning on starting a screenplay in 2020, start it in 2019. Because when you sit down and it's just this vacuum of blankness, there's just this sort of feeling of like, oh my gosh, I have so many possibilities and I just don't know what to choose. But as soon as you get something down, regardless of what it is, I think things just really open up, because all of a sudden your possibilities start to narrow and there's a lot less time spent in evaluating these possibilities as opposed to these possibilities. So there's just an effective way to continue moving forward, because you can always take those possibilities, you can take them later and translate them to other ones. We're allowed to rewrite. So just get it going and don't worry about facing the blank page. And so that was my advice, of just write something down in 2019, and it's going to set you up in 2020 for success, insofar as you will be writing a screenplay. Don't even worry about what it is yet, if that's what you're afraid of.
Do you think that's what stops a lot of people? Because it seems like this monumental, I'm writing a screenplay, and now, oh, am I going to take on this title as a screenwriter? Is it going to be a legitimate title? Just set it up. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Take some of the fear out of it to do it this way?
Yeah, I think sitting down and just typing something or writing something longhand just gets you moving. And I think that movement is just a good habit to be in. And I would say that is more important, especially for beginning screenwriters, to learn that it doesn't have to be great, it doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be even what it will eventually be. It's not going to be what it will eventually be. So don't worry about it being that. Just get moving. It's like training at the gym. It's like, if you want to lift 200 pounds, you first have to lift 100 pounds. If you want to lift 100 pounds, you first have to lift 50 pounds. Like, just, and not that I can lift 200 pounds, but I'm just saying you have to start somewhere, and that where you start is not the destination. So just start, and you can go back and figure it out later.
And also too, is it less intimidating when you think about, wait a minute, I'm not actually going to be writing in like full sentences sometimes for a script?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a freedom in the way screenplays are written, that we are not beholden to strict prose, punctuation and grammar, and all that stuff. You have a fair amount of freedom. There is a very clear formatting for screenplays, but that formatting allows for, I think, a tremendous amount of freedom that, once you are comfortable with, I think really allows an authorial voice to come through.
Was that something that was a surprise to you, that you didn't realize, like, wait a minute, I'm not writing an actual novel here. I don't have to make sure that I'm completely grammatically correct with something. I can just do sort of this cryptic, how's it going? Yeah. You know, I mean, just, you know, in terms of the conversation and...
Yeah, I remember the first screenplay I wrote that was in perfect, all the action lines were perfect prose, and I had a table read of it, and it was horrible because it was the slowest read of my life. And afterwards, a friend who was participating in the read came up to me and she said, "Your story is fantastic. I think this is great. This could be a name maker for you, but you have to change every single action line." I was like, "Well, oh, okay." She's like, "Yeah, just it needs to be like a screenplay." And so I had this story, but I didn't have a good screenplay. And so I went back in and changed. I didn't make a single story choice different, but I just changed all the action lines. And that was the screenplay that has gotten me more notice than any of my other work.
Okay. Wow, that was a nice friend.
Yeah.
Was this table read here in LA?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I had a table read with friends in LA that just put together. I have a small group that meets semi-regularly whenever someone has something. They say who's available and when are you available? Can we get together for a read? And it's a combination of actors and writers. And so we'll give the actors the bigger parts and kind of use the writers to fill in some of the smaller parts and hear it out loud and then immediately just sort of get feedback from everyone.
Are they doing the feedback after the script is read through or in the moment?
After it's read through. So we hear it once completely, and I usually record it so I can hear it back. I'll also record the feedback so that I can hear that back, which is also something I'd recommend is just being used to recording everything. Because if you have to pause to take notes every time, you're not going to be present with the person that you're talking to. You'll also miss things and you'll go back later and that note you won't be able to make sense of. But you can hear it back and you hear exactly how they said it and now, oh, that's right, that's what they said. So definitely record everything.
Right. I bet that's really powerful to hear your own work spoken by someone else.
Mm-hmm. It's great. You'll hear a line that you go, I think that line is going to kill. It's great. And then it just, great reading, but the line falls flat, so the line is bad. Also, you'll hear things that, you know, a line that was just functional, like you needed that line to get from A to B and it's there and you think, it's not great, but then someone reads it and all of a sudden like that line pops more than any of the others. And you're like, well, I don't know if that line is necessarily great, but clearly there's something that this actor has found with this character that allows that line to pop. And figure out what that is, because there are going to be opportunities elsewhere in the script to use whatever that actor found in that character to make sure that that is in every other scene that that character's in.